Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Department Podcast, our Hell in a Cell review and reaction for the Department Podcast. I'm Stephen Clark with Justin Valentovic and Jesse Norman. We just had a pretty good pay-per-view in Hell in a Cell, but before we get into all that, fellas, how you doing on this lovely Sunday evening right now?
I'm doing fine, except my iPhone charger is officially kicking the bucket. It looks like this. So it's at the point where now I have to it's not even like charging if I
gotta get one that's sturdier like this.
Well, that's what this is. It's like the crappy, not the crappy, but like it has the fabric around it. Like it's one of those. Like, and it crapped out. Look, see? So that sucks. So I'm gonna need another one soon. I have one in my car. I don't feel like going out in the rain.
Huh? Is it raining over there?
Yeah, it's raining by it.
It's like drizzling here. Yeah, in a nice old central Jersey over here. Yeah, Jesse, how are you?
Yeah,
I'm good. I parlayed the Bills to win and the Packers to cover the spread, which I said everybody should play, and both those things happened. So I bet 50, and I won 56.
Like we should start a sports betting show.
Hint, 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 winky, winky face. But anyways, glad you guys are doing well for the most part, except for Justin.
That's usually how it goes.
It's just me.
But anyways, we just saw Hell in a Cell, and it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. But that being said, we're just gonna get right into it, go match by match, and give our thoughts and reactions on it. And I guess we'll start with obviously the first match of the show, which shouldn't have been the first match of the show. But it was Roman Reigns defending his Universal title against Jey Uso in one of the most important and exciting and best storytelling I've ever seen in almost my entire career of a wrestling fan. It was that good. But I'll go to Jesse first with this one. What was your overall thoughts and just feelings and emotions during this match?
I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I said in our group chat that my only critique of it is that it opened the show. Insane. Because I mean, I think, you know, at worst, the second best match of the night, in my opinion, opened the show and had such a great story. And it was just so high stakes and just so invested that it really kind of, it just set the bar so high that you couldn't reach that really for the rest of the show. But no, it was fantastic. And the way they set it up so that Jey still wouldn't say I quit until he had to for Jimmy, I think was, you know, great storytelling and continues that Jey character. If he wouldn't give up.
Yeah, it like you said, Jesse, the only really knock is that it opened the show because it was so not like emotionally draining for us, but like because the storytelling was as good as it was in that match, you know, you got invested in it. And I'm not saying like I was burnt out for the rest of it, but it's like I was at such like an not emotional, but like I was, you know, into that match so much that it's like
how you don't have to be Mr. Tough Guy. You can
but it's like how can I get reinvested? But it's like but it's like how can you get reinvested into like four to five more matches after that? You know, it's like after you watch a TV show, you know, so it's like a season finale or like the series finale of like a drama or something. You know, it's like it's over. It's like, what do I do now? Right? It was kind of like that feeling, for like the rest of the show.
Yeah, and then it got to get followed up by Elias Hardy.
Yeah, we'll get there quickly after this, but I'll still want to stay on this match. But yeah, that was whatever. But it was just brutal, this match too. Like all like the whips from like the whatever that was, like the strap, and just choking out Roman, and the spears were brutal that Jey Uso took. Like they just didn't look fun, and it was just overall like really brutal. And you saw it on the face of Paul Heyman a lot too. Like Paul Heyman was not condoning this behavior by Roman. It's all Roman's idea to be this leader and this king for his people and the tribal chief, and
it's almost like Paul Heyman was realizing like he might have created a monster that like he can't even contain himself.
And maybe if you created a monster, you got to bring back another monster, so that might be coming soon. You never know.
No.
It might be coming.
But it's just like this match was really good, and the ending with the Wild Samoans, that's who they were, right?
Wild Samoans.
They came out and they gave him the lei and like kind of crowning him, from like passing the torch on from them to another. It basically means The Rock's coming back at this point, right? Like they're starting to roll out more family members. Like Rock has to come back now, right?
Rikishi's gonna be on in a couple weeks, probably. Who else is in this family? Tamina, he'll spear Tamina or something. I don't know who else. They'll find like some like kids in there, and he'll probably like Superman punch the kids, like some 8-year-old kids or something.
Oh my god!
You never know, man. But I think we have to talk about
Clark's rooting for child abuse.
Sure. Let's talk about the ending though. Before we go back to the Wild Samoans and all that stuff, the ending was really emotional too, just because of how Jay didn't want to quit the entire match, but it really took his brother to feel the pain that Roman was enforcing on him to be able to make him quit, which just shows the bond that the Usos have and how Roman like faked being compassionate about it and then attacked Jimmy Uso. So it just shows that Roman, I don't know if we're getting this bloodline faction. That was a big talking point of our last podcast that we're going to either see it tonight, Friday, or in the very near future at least. The way this ended and the way they looked in the ring when Roman was on the stage, and
it seems like Roman wants like nothing to do with them anyway.
I think it's the opposite. No, I think he wants them out of his family.
I disagree even more with that. I think at the end when he was saying he loves them before he leaves the ring, and Paul Heyman kept saying about being an indentured servant, I think they have to join, or at least Jay does. I mean, they hit on that point numerous times of Jay was going to listen to Roman's beck and call if he says I quit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are right there. I don't know. It's very confusing in that matter. Not that saying that the story is confusing, but it's like confusing what to go on from here. Like I do see what you mean because of the wording and how it was worded in the ring today and on Friday with which Roman said for the consequences, but it's interesting, put it this way, to see where it'll go from here. It really is.
It also seems like the Usos want to like. It was Jimmy, I think he said, he's like, we'll help you get through like whatever you're going through. Like almost like he's having like a midlife crisis, and that's why he's like pissed off and angry at everybody. And it's like that. Maybe that's why he's upset with the family and why he has to be the head of it and all that stuff. But it's like it seems like they want to reach out and kind of get him back to good guy Roman.
No, and then they pivoted away from it.
Yeah, basically, like Roman put on like some Hollywood Dwayne Johnson acting moves there, bawling his eyes out until then just choking out Jimmy Uso. So, and like you said, I forgot which one you brought it up. I think it was Justin, but then the Wild Samoans at the end too on the ramp, just putting the lei on Roman's neck and really embracing him as the tribal chief of the family, while the Usos are in the ring with like big watery eyes and upset that they lost the match and all that stuff. But
so it's almost like, do they bring The Rock back then, or does The Rock come back on his own? Or
Rock comes back on his own.
I think Rock comes back on his own,
and I think Roman has to beat The Rock.
Oh, he absolutely has to. There's no point.
Has to.
It's almost like because how Rock passed the torch to Cena, and then it's
Rock beat Cena first.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then it's like the Undertaker gave it to Roman. So it's like each of them kind of have their own passing of the guard.
Sort of.
But then it's like we're not going to get Cena Roman if we haven't, we really haven't. So we're not going to get that anytime soon.
We got Cena Roman at No Mercy like
3 years ago.
3 years
ago. But like that wasn't where this is at, like story-wise. So it's like Rock would almost have to come back to kind of wipe that away a little bit.
That's your main event. I don't know.
It absolutely has to be.
It's money, especially if I don't know if it's going to be in Los Angeles still. It's still up in the air.
Sounds like it's going to be Florida.
It might be back in Tampa, which is where The Rock is originally from, the Florida area, I believe. Somewhere in Miami he is.
Yeah, that's where he went to college.
So it's the perfect main event. If it was in LA, it would have been so much better having The Rock's homecoming in LA and his new home. But anyways, Roman Rock, book it now. It's right in front of them. If they bail on this, they're idiots, the writers, but we already know that.
And my thing is like, what's next
for Roman?
Yeah, like where do they go from here? Like they can't run the Usos back out here for a third time to Survivor.
No, there's absolutely no way.
It's Survivor. It's gonna be champion versus champion.
Champion versus champion.
You'll get Roman versus Randy. I don't know. They did it last year, I think. So maybe. I don't know. I don't know if NXT is going to be involved again. I have a feeling it's not going to be involved for some reason. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling this year. But no, Roman Randy as of right now for Survivor Series. We'll probably find out more in the coming weeks because Survivor Series is only a month away.
After Halloween is when they'll probably start promoting it.
Yeah. They already actually started promoting it, which we're actually going to talk about right now. They did start promoting it tonight as the 30 years of Undertaker thing. Again, we saw this 5 years ago when it did 25 years of Undertaker.
That was 5. That was 5 already.
Well, this is 30. It was 25.
No, I know,
so that's 5 years.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's just I remember that match, like, the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family. Like,
5 years ago.
Oh my God,
we're old. We're college graduates, Justin. We're old. I know. Now.
We were in high school basically when that happened, like our senior year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We're old, Justin.
I know.
We're old.
God.
But anyways, they're promoting it 30 years of Undertaker, so
He's
going to be a Taker match on the show. Is it going to be against Styles? It might be. Is it going to be against Slapjack? It might be. we don't know. But that's as of right now the billing for Survivor Series.
So my last point for this match is: do you think this match needed the sell?
I saw a lot of people complaining that it didn't need the sell online.
I personally like the sell as like an added touch.
Yeah,
it makes it more brutal. That was an I Quit Hell in a Cell. Just like the words together of I Quit and Hell in a Cell together. It's just like, oh, you can't escape. Plus, you gotta quit. It's like
Jay used the sell early on too to get offense going.
Yeah, I'm usually not a fan of like a pay-per-view like 3 cell matches. That's sometimes too much, but each match honestly really needed the cell because it fits into each story.
Just the way it was built up. Yeah.
So, but overall, we all like that match. It was beautiful storytelling, beautiful match, top to bottom.
Should have ended the show though.
Should have 100% ended the show. But let's quickly get through Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Elias won from disqualification.
I don't care.
Jeff Hardy hitting him with a guitar. I have to say it, Justin. I got to be professional. I know.
Say it. I don't care though.
Okay, that's it.
This is a feud that'll go on for way too long, and it doesn't matter, and they'll do nothing with it, and it'll just kind of stop.
Amen to that. Jesse, you have any words?
I mean, come on. It went on after Roman.
It was a nice pee break after that emotional roller coaster we went through there.
Yeah,
if you weren't getting enough liquids out of your eyes from that match, you got them out of your bladder. So, on to the next match tonight. A shocker. A big shocker in a way. It was Otis defending his Money in the Bank briefcase against The Miz, and they got me again. They got me vice versa this time.
I said all of us.
Yeah, they got all of us. Because I said last podcast that last time I did this was Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens, and it looked like they wanted to get it off of Strowman for some reason and give it to Owens, but Owens got squashed. But now Tucker helped Miz and Morrison. Well, Miz win Money in the Bank, and I'll go to Justin now for this one. Do you like the move to have Miz win Money in the Bank? Do you like the official splitting of Heavy Machinery? I know they're on separate brands now. Give me your thoughts.
Miz having the briefcase is fine. Whatever. If the whole plan behind giving Otis the briefcase was just to do the Mandy storyline with him and then to take it off of him and like break up Heavy Machinery as basically the catalyst of with Money in the Bank being that, whatever, cool that this is what they decide to book long term since the summer. If that's basically what they decide to do, at least we might see Miz legitimately win the title then with the briefcase, because there's no shot Otis was winning, the Universal or the WWE unless he went for a tag belt. But obviously they're not going that route, so that option is gone. So it's just if the whole intention was to split up Heavy Machinery as a result of the briefcase, fine. But at that point, you should have just done it sooner. And then instead of just drag on basically 6 months of Otis with the briefcase.
Yeah, I feel like Otis winning the briefcase was just a pandemic plea or something. Like it was like, hey, this whole pandemic thing's going on. Let's make the people at home happy by having this fat, meat-loving, blue-collar guy win the title that everybody loves.
Yeah, everybody wanted Otis to win.
Yeah,
he did.
And I think that was just the thing. That was like really in the heart of the pandemic, so they wanted to make everybody feel good at the time. But now we're getting used to all the pandemic garbage, so They're like, all right, time to take it off him.
And time to go back to normal. Did you catch too that they're like 13 years ago, someone else lost the briefcase, but they didn't say Mr. Kennedy or whoever it was.
Yeah,
it's like nice.
Yeah, I was like, I wish they would acknowledge superstars, especially if they're not in any other company right now.
Is he even doing anything?
No, that's the thing that got me annoyed with that. Like, he's not doing anything. Like, what would it hurt you to say 2 words?
You have the name like trademarked. There's a reason.
You own the right to it.
Yeah, like
you don't even go by that.
It.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I didn't. Also, like,
this could have been done on SmackDown or Raw. Like, it could have been on either show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Miz.
Why Miz? Like, don't get me wrong. I like the Miz and everything.
Yeah.
But there are so many other options you could run right now that could benefit so much more from the briefcase. Imagine if somebody in the Hurt Business had the briefcase. I
was just about to say Bobby.
Or Mustafa Ali with Retribution. Like, there are other people things that could use the briefcase,
but figure
as opposed to Miz.
Miz has 6 months, right? Do you see any combination of Roman, Drew, Orton, or say Edge versus Orton, any of them having a chance of vulnerability for Miz to cash in and win the why would they disrupt any of those storylines? Because you have to figure Roman's probably going to have the belt well to Mania against The Rock. You have to assume Orton or Drew are going to have it going into Mania, and Edge is probably going to be in the title hunt then if Edge is back by then. So it's like, what does it do at that point?
All I know is Miz should have a year until now, I think. October.
But he won't. I think
that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to come around June when Otis won it, and Miz is going to miss the cash in. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. But he said, no, I won it in October, but they're still going to take it away.
Or do you think it'll be like the go home show for Money in the Bank 2021, and he'll just be like, F it, I need to do this now type of thing? Like, that's what they might have to do.
Because something like that.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny.
Themselves into a corner that they have to have him cash in by June now.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny if, since the briefcase broke up Heavy Machinery, what if the briefcase also broke up Miz and Morrison?
Oh, and it's like cursed.
Yes, like for like the year, like it breaks up another tag team.
It might, but
like Miz and Morrison end up having a match for it.
They just go drunk with power of whoever has it, and it's just. Oh boy!
But anyways, also on this match I touched on earlier, but not enough. Otis and Tucker broke up. Tucker cost Otis the match, and I said this in the chat too. This is Vince breaking them up, seeing the potential in one guy and breaking up the other guy. I'm not comparing Otis to Enzo in any way, but Otis is the Enzo in the situation.
Well, it's every tag team where they see one person has a higher ceiling than the other. And the issue is kind of halfway through the match when Morrison got tossed for trying to hit Otis with it, they telegraphed it really early then that Tucker was going to kind of screw him. At least that's what I was thinking, because they're on separate shows to begin with. They need an on.
Also, every time Morrison kept getting involved, Tucker never did anything.
No, he just stood there.
Stood there.
There was nothing stopping him from going over and beating him up.
Now, what's Tucker's gimmick gonna be? He's just Tucker.
Tucker. It's gonna be. Well, this is the thing. Tucker's gonna have this feud with Otis that Otis is gonna win. His gimmick is gonna be that he carried the tag team. He's the more talented one. Otis is gonna win, and then we're never gonna see Tucker again. He's gonna get fired in 6 months, and then he's gonna go to Impact.
And he's gonna be in the Impact Zone.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna use Tucker for this one feud. They're gonna have him lose. They're gonna pay him for like 6 to 7 more months till after Mania. Then they're gonna fire him.
But here's my thing: his stretch of being on Main Event during this whole time too. Now that's where he's gonna be every week.
But here's my thing. It's like, what are they going to do with Otis now if he doesn't have the briefcase? Like what TV?
They can figure out stuff with Otis, I feel. He's very charismatic.
Otis is really good at getting, like, originally I was like, yeah, I don't really care about this match. And then Otis got me into it. So I was like, all right, I'm into it. And then they had to lose.
I had to laugh. The one part that was funny is when he did like a pelvic thrust and Michael Cole's like, what do you call that, Corey? And he was like, inappropriate.
Yeah, no, they're a good team too on commentary, Cole and Graves. They get along really well.
I wonder if that was them just kind of like fucking with each other a little bit.
It could have been, because like Cole also said, Graves said that Otis is the type of guy that like the popular girl goes to prom with because she feels bad for him. And then Cole was like, oh, Corey, I bet you know a lot about that. And then Corey was like, oh yeah, I was a great cheerleader. How'd you know? Like they're really good together, and I'm glad they're on Fox too, like on a global network and all that. But at the end of the night, Mrs. Money in the Bank, Heavy Machinery is no more. Let's move on with the show, and I have to just scroll ahead a little bit. And the next match is Sasha Banks and Bayley in a brutal, very brutal Hell in a Cell match. Sasha always tends to go all out in these matches. This is her third match against the third horsewoman that Justin said the other day. Great fact right there. But
I know my wrestling trivia,
and that's the only. This is the third women's Hell in a Cell.
She's been in all of them.
And she's been in all of them.
So I guess she's missed. Oh, she didn't win the other ones. Oh, she won the. Did she win the Charlotte one?
Yeah.
She won Charlotte.
She won Charlotte, lost Becky.
Lost Becky. I guess she's Miss Hell in a Cell now. Give her that name because they went all out, these two, and put on a hell of a match. Jesse, I'll go back to you with this one. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like the outcome?
I loved it. This was my match of the night, personally. I thought it was fantastic. I think they had a great story. I think it was very emotional as well.
Yeah. They incorporated a lot of stuff from SmackDown we saw with the chair and all that. And that's how the match even ended too.
And
with
they
the
used
statement.
A lot of weapons too.
Yeah. We saw a ladder in a Hell in a Cell. When's the last ladder, kendo stick, chairs,
fire extinguisher, spray paint. I had to laugh when they caught Bayley asking the ref can you do this for me? It's I wonder if she was just asking if they could cut off real quick and then have them do the tape.
I 100% think so because
I think
she's
that's
I'm sweaty.
Yeah. I think that was her trying to just be help me out here.
Yeah, that wasn't Bayley. That was Pam. That was Pam asking me.
I had to laugh. The ref played it off really well. I was I can't do that.
I can't do ref in character. It was good to see the ref in character. But no, I agree with Jesse 100% with this. This was match of the night too. Looking back at all the other 5-6 matches on the card. It was brutal. It was very brutal. And another SmackDown has the great storytelling matches. Granted, it wasn't the best quote unquote wrestling match with Roman and Jey Uso, but great storytelling. This one was great wrestling and great storytelling. It filled all the gaps. I don't know if it closed the story though. That's what I'm gonna go for Justin with this question.
Yeah.
You think it closed the story, or do we see Bayley, Sasha down the line in a couple months, maybe even WrestleMania again?
So after Survivor Series would be TLC, right? Or does that happen?
Probably.
I think so. Yeah, usually happens.
December's usually TLC. So if they do champion versus champion at Survivor Series, we'll probably see a blow off to this at TLC. And I hope they actually suspend the belt in a TLC match rather than making a TLC match that's just the pinfall, which is the stupidest iteration of a freaking thing, but that's here nor there. So I feel like we could see maybe a little bit more. Maybe Bayley's just off TV for a little bit and then she comes back and then they blow it off at TLC.
Yeah, if Charlotte or Becky is not back for Rumble, I think have Bayley take time off till Rumble and then have her come back and win it if Charlotte or Becky's not ready. Or Ronda too.
Oh yeah, Ronda's there. Ronda was caught training, I think, on social media again. So
yeah, so if one of them's not back, then I think you have Bayley off TV and put her back.
Yeah, but from everything in this match, I want to talk about the ending again. Sasha used that same chair that was wrapped around her neck, that put her in a neck brace, that was used every week on SmackDown to put Bayley in the bank statement to make her tap out. And Bayley actually submitted, which I'm kind of shocked with the result of that because we knew how much that title meant to Bayley. So seeing her tap out to give up her title is astonishing, honestly, because never thought I'd really see that just because of how crazy she acted for that title. But no, I really liked it. I'm also a big fan of this match. I'm glad Sasha's champion. She deserves to be. She's been on the top of her game for a long time now.
She definitely needs to carry it into Mania, I think.
Yeah.
I
don't know against who or what, but Jesse put a few names out there, and I don't know, but I like it for now. So let's just carry on with the show. And this match was not. We didn't predict because we didn't know about it at the time.
We knew they were going to do at least one of these where they announced it basically day of.
Yeah, because you can't do 2 Hell in a Cell matches back to back. That's just draining.
Well, what they should have done, because, it's just.
But the amount of people who weren't on this card is insane, too. Like AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Owens, Black.
That's expected.
And not even on the kickoff. Come on. I think the 24/7 was on the kickoff or some crap. But a bunch of guys weren't on this card. Mysterios, Rollins, Street Profits, any of the tag teams, New Day. What's up? Aleister Black. Yeah. A lot of guys weren't on this card, but we got Elias and Jeff Hardy, and we got Slapjack on the card. But on the pre-show, let's give some context on this. Ali said, one of my guys versus one of the Hurt Business guys, doesn't matter who, whatever. Then backstage, MVP said, Lashley, put your title on the line and go fight one of them, basically. And Lashley just obliterated Slapjack. The Retribution as wrestlers are a joke.
I like their theme song, though.
Theme song's very nice. You're right. It's cool. But as wrestlers, in-ring talent, they are making them a joke.
Yeah.
Well, and
they got fed to the Fiend, and now they got fed to the Hurt Business. It's like,
yeah, they got fed to the Fiend. They lost their 8-man tag or whatever on Raw. Slapjack looked like a clown against Bobby Lashley in the ring, and yeah, I want.
Which one was Slapjack again?
Shane Thorne.
Shane Thorne, the one with the hockey mask or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to laugh when like the one with the stupid mask, and they're all like, "Well, which one's that?"
Yeah. I like the only one I really like is Dio Madden Mace, the dude with like the dreads. I think he looks just like alien.
He just looks like a monster.
Guy. Yeah, he looks awesome. But otherwise, man, they're a joke. I want to like them. I really want to like them.
Yeah, especially with Ali. It's like, okay, I could get behind this now with the right story.
Just make him win. Let's make him win to start. Like, don't put this feud with the Hurt Business right away. Feed him to like some mid-card garbage first, and then build up this if you want to have him lose.
Now, this would be a good feud for War Games. You know?
Honestly, yeah. It would.
They're not doing War Games.
Obviously, they're not, because one, this is on main roster, not NXT. But it's like, this is the type of like, staple or stable that you want to put in War Games.
Makes a lot of sense too, because it's literally equal stables with the male parts. It's 4 guys there, 4 guys here.
Yeah, it would have worked out perfectly. But
and they should have. I think they should be telling. If you want to make them lose here and there, have them lose in these one-on-one matches, but at least have them win the multi-man matches.
As a unit, yeah.
As a unit, make them look strong. But no, they're doing neither. And then
Mia Yim's just not doing anything.
The thing that was so funny to me was at the end of the match when it was over and the rest of Retribution comes out and Lashley's in the ring, getting beat up a little bit. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, where's Cedric, MVP, and Shelton? Because they're taking a while.
Yeah.
And then by the time they like start to come down, Lashley has already basically cleared the ring himself.
Yeah.
They were gonna do the double choke slam, and he threw both of them out.
They're a joke. I want to like
so
them.
Just Lashley just took out like 3 people from Retribution. So how are they supposed to compete when they have a full Hurt Business?
It's like back when it's like first when they came up, we're just taking too much time on them because they're just not doing anything with them. So what's the point in keep talking about them at this point? Because it sucks.
And now they're starting to just bury them more and more and more.
Yeah, it's
painful.
Very, very. Let's get to the main event.
And now it's like, dude, why do we care about the Fiend in Retribution? If Retribution can't even beat Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, how are they going to beat?
Like, the Fiend is a main eventer.
Literally. All right, let's finish this. We have 10 minutes left in this show. So we have one match to talk about in 10 minutes. That's plenty of time. We have the WWE title match. Randy Orton defending. Drew McIntyre. Getting a little ahead of myself there. Drew McIntyre defending against Randy Orton. The match started when Orton was dressed as like a cameraman or a crew guy.
I feel like he's done this a lot this year.
Me too.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen it like before. But anyways, he attacked him.
I guess someone watched Master of Disguise and they want to put Randy Orton in all the different costumes now.
Part of the slumber party. That happened. He attacked him. Match overall, okay, a little brutal here or there. Randy climbed the cage.
A little slow here and there.
The part when it came to a crashing halt, literally, was when Drew got thrown off the side, but they just took forever.
Yeah, I was watching Sunday Night Football. I feel like a whole drive went by.
I watched like a half inning of the World Series. I thought at one point.
God, yeah, that was long, but it was brutal. Drew taking that 10-foot fall from halfway up the cage is, we've seen it before, but it loses its like charm after a while.
The part which was funny where they exposed himself is when they went to the wide shot and the covering of the table that says Hell in a Cell was already moved off to the side. It's like, oh, you guys up that one.
Yeah, no, I saw that too.
Yeah, like, you got thrown off the side. They didn't cut to anything. You know, they had the shot through the
went
side.
up to the top, and then just to go back down. Like he hit him with the pipe once,
which looked like a lightsaber,
and then it was also like, why was Randy going to the top? Like, I thought, when has Randy ever been at home, you know, on top of the cell? Randy's terrified to take bumps.
I thought we might have seen Drew or somebody go through it because we haven't seen it, you know, in the new cell. Like I thought might have been the time.
Thought, and it looked pretty weak.
The way they were shooting it too.
But I didn't. The reason I didn't think anybody was going to go through is because I didn't think either of them would take that bump.
No,
especially Randy. Randy especially would not.
Yeah, it would have been Drew if anyone to take that.
I don't even know if Drew could fit through the cage if you like threw him through.
That's crazy. He's a big dude.
A chain link thing because he's like 6'8".
Yeah,
I don't know if those squares are big enough. Yeah, he'd have to like go through like sideways.
No, it was a good cell match. You know, definitely not the worst cell match of all time, not the best one either, but it got the job done. You know, they did.
Story of Randy Orton's Hell in a Cell career.
That's 100% true.
It's not the worst cell, I guess, but
he's been in what, 7 of them now? 7, 8, basically.
He's been in too many.
Yeah, now he's won 3 championships in them.
Yeah, but that's the thing we got to talk about here is the match was okay, but the ending. Randy Orton won the title from Drew. He finally did it, and it looks like this feud's continuing. But Orton is a 14-time.
It needs to end at TLC.
I don't know why did they do this last month?
I wish it was just over.
But see, the problem that prolongs this feud now is that if Survivor Series is the champion versus champion, the title won't be on the line then. So you're getting it into December then at that point.
Like Randy's not even the top heel in the
company. At this rate, Halloween's around the corner. It's next week. So November hits. We're going to get the invasion of each show on each show now, basically, you know, across each channel because it's not on USA anymore. So it's going to be, oh no, Raw's on Fox. Ooh, you know. So we're going to start getting that if they're doing that, the brand versus brand at Survivor Series. So this is going to go to TLC.
And even beyond probably at this point because they love prolonging this feud for some reason that we don't know why. But I don't want any more matches. Granted, we were very excited.
Oh dear God, TLC
summer, but
TLC 2020, December 20th. That is deep in December.
That is a little less than 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Wow. Another 2 months of Orton versus McIntyre.
I think we'll get it. I do.
Oh, I think it's gonna happen too. But granted Orton won the title and all that stuff, and it was kind of a shock to all of us because we all picked Drew. Still, with that shock being placed there, it should not have been the main event.
Oh no, not at all. They should have flipped the men.
By far the worst cell match of the night.
And especially when The Fiend didn't come out.
Nobody came out. Miz, Fiend,
nothing.
Hell, I was even thinking at one point too. Undisputed. Hey, I see what you did there. I was thinking there was a little tease they try to trick us on NXT this week by starting this feud, but instead they were just going to call up Undisputed. I thought at one point, nothing there. But it was just very it was a shock. I will give them that. A lot of shock factors tonight with the Miz and Randy Orton, but it was not needed.
I would have liked because what show is Miz on technically?
Raw now.
So I would have liked them just to have Miz come out and look at Orton, just to be like,
exactly,
be ready,
tickle our balls a little bit, man.
But I think that's what kind of made the show kind of deflating at the end is that if the show ended with Roman and them giving him the leg, that would have looked a lot better than just Orton walking up the ramp and then nothing.
Yes, or even Sasha Banks winning too would have been a lot better of an ending.
But see, at least for me, that doesn't kill the whole show. Like the show as a whole was still very good. I enjoyed it. But it's looking at it, it's like it could have been a lot better then. Just if you swap two matches.
Just if you just swap them place wise, not even do anything else.
The placement of the card was really bad.
And like Jay versus Roman in another main event, I don't mind because it was this. It's only the second time. How many times have we gotten 4 straight pay-per-views with like the same main event? It seemed like with Brock Lesnar at times.
A lot.
Didn't Orton and Drew just main event? Like,
yeah, like what is it?
Not there. Didn't they main event?
Well, with
SummerSlam.
No, it wasn't. It was Braun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It just feels like that with all these prolonged.
Did they not?
feuds.
Yeah.
Did they not main event the pay-per-view?
No, they've been main eventing. Roman's been main eventing since he came back.
Roman's been main eventing. Yeah.
Good for them for main eventing.
I think this was just the worst one for them to main event.
Yeah. Card placement was bad, but I thought the show was really good. We did this for the last pay-per-view. I'll go to Jesse first. Out of 10, what is your number that you give? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What do you give this show?
Like a 7.5, maybe 8. Probably could have been a 9 if they
placement was better.
If the placement was better.
Yeah, that's the biggest knock for me is the placement, and that does knock it down a little bit. So I'd say like 7-ish, 6.5, 7 range.
I'll go 7.5. I'll go 7.5 as well. Like I said, it could have been easily an 8 or 9 if that was card placement was better.
All you gotta do is switch.
Exactly.
So if Randy is the champ now, does this mean Keith Lee is finally getting in my title picture? Because Keith Lee has the pinfall victory over Randy.
Yeah, I hope we get that just for a little bit, just to break up the monotony. If they do decide to go back to Orton Drew down the road, just do a
number one contenders match on Raw. Keith Lee, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
perfect. And on that note, that ends this episode of the Department Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We do appreciate you guys listening to us. Make sure you follow us on our social medias on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Department_pod. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Our subscribers have been going up a little bit lately, so thank you guys for subscribing there. We appreciate that. Let us know your favorite part of the show. Leave a comment. We love interacting with you guys. We have World Series coming up. We have NFL coming up before that, so stay tuned to that, and we'll see you in the next episode.